Welcome to the second video in the team selection tutorial series. In this video, we will create animated custom widget UI for the team selection, and we will use custom button created in the previous video. If you haven't watched that video, I would recommend to do so. And in the next video, we will write verse code to control whole team selection process. And I would like to mention that most of the UI images are created by talented artist Rustigala, and team logos I took from our Fortnite GG website. And now let's begin. Okay, I will delete this testing pop-up dialog device. And I prepared already here what we will need. So first of all, we need pop-up dialog device. So everything, like most of the stuff is by default, except button text. You will have OK and cancel. You need to delete that, because basically we will use button text for our count of the players. Then enable during phase, yes, of course, but basically like everything by default, except here we need to add our widget later when we will create it. Then I have audio player. This audio will play basically when when player selects team, because when we do something in UI, we can play sound directly in UI, but the moment when we're clicking it, we're closing that UI, so we won't be able to play that audio. So that's why I will just use this one. And I will have sound like that. Nothing special. And this is not a custom, this is from Fortnite. Again, everything, like most of the stuff by default, enabling, of course. Play on hit, actually we don't need that. Can be heard by default it's set to everyone. We want instigator only. And play location, we want local player, by default is device. Then we want to disable any spatialization and attenuation. So it should be, doesn't matter where player is, should play always same. And nothing else in here. Okay. And then we have 5 team selection, not team like class selection, but we can use this as a team selection. Why we need 5? Basically, like when player will join, we will straight away assign him or her into a 5th team. So team number 5 will be just for who just joined the game. And then we have 4 where players will play. Make sure that you have teams in here. So as you can see, I have actually 2 teams. It needs to be 5 teams, right? So we have 16 players. Yeah, fine. It doesn't matter. This is splitting evenly. We will control that manually. And yeah, so 5 teams. And then in a team, this team selection. So visible during game, of course not. Color, right? You can set direct color. You can set your own color. I don't bother about that. So I just set like a team color. So it automatically assigns color. Then activation audio, zone, like activation audio you can keep if you want. I just disable that because again, I have my own sound. Then team to switch to, of course, this is super important. So in each, as you can see, it says like 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep in mind, when in a verse, we're starting with a 0 index, and it's called here team index, but for some reason it starts with a 1. It's not 0. So don't confuse yourself. So we need 1 for the first one, and then so on. Volume visibility in game disabled, so basically we don't see that as well. Enabling during phase, gameplay only. You can set whatever you want. Display VFX effects on activation. It's basically when player will select a team, that color will will basically shown on the player itself. You can disable that or leave it, right? So I will leave, so then we can see that it's actually working. And you can see that This parameter by default, because there's no this arrow, so it by default is switched off. But when I started duplicating, it's automatically created this. It basically says like if there are many of these changes like of the team or class, it can basically be like overloaded. So it's basically tries to help you with this. So because it's automatically switched it on, I left it. It should be fine anyways. Yeah, and on the last one, on the fifth one, as you can see, all of them I left with this V effect visible, but because when player joins, we are assigning automatically to this team 5, so I switched V effect off, right, for that one. And clear items on switch, I don't know why this one is switched. It should be never. 1 second, yeah, in these guys as well on the class should be. We don't want to do anything with player weapons, right? Okay, that should be fine now. Okay, and if you don't know, maybe if you really new in UEFN, all these devices, it basically in a Fortnite folder, devices, and all of that you can get in here in these folders. Okay, now let's get to team selection. And let's create our widget blueprint. Actually, let me delete this one. Now, widget blueprint, we want dialog variant. Okay. And straight away, we can add it in here so we remember that we did it. Okay. So let's open it. Okay. So canvas, overlay. Then overlay, I will set it to, so basically everything will be in the center. So 0, 0, 0 0.5, 0 0.5. So it's perfect center. Now for the size, I will go with 1100 and 600. So we'll have everything inside in here. Then let's add image. So this will be our background frame. I will rename it later. So for this one, I want it to fill whole space in overlay, right? And then let's grab this one. It will be like that. Okay. And then we want color again. Something like not just only colors, like I want it more like a golden, something in between. Okay, so it's that. Now let's duplicate this one and let's rename that. It will be image, background frame, and this will be image, just background. And for this one, I don't want any image, and I want it to be in the center. So I want control size. And actually, instead of image, I will use round box, and in here, fixed radius. Okay. Okay. Now in this corner radius will be 10, 10, 10, 10. So like slide this bevel. Set it something like blue, like dark blue. And maybe opacity 0.6, something like that. We'll see, maybe I'll tweak a little bit later. Okay, that's fine. And now because we're doing 4, they like really similar. You could do like create one group and then duplicate, or you can just create like in the many stacks. I will just do with the stacks. So each stack will have different stuff. So will we have like buttons, text, and everything separately. Okay, so it's this. Then we want size box because we need that for the buttons. And first for the size, so we want it to be in the center. Yeah, and nothing else in here actually. So now for the size, we want it be 200 and 400, like that. But still we want it like a filled space, right? So keep that in mind. Okay, and now we can add button like that. Cool, button, yeah, it's totally fine. We don't need add text here. So now, while we have the size, we can make 4 copies. Now select all size boxes, and we want on the left 25 and on the right 25. It will be equally on all sides. Nice. So as you can see, like with a stack box, it's much easier to place everything. We don't need an eyeball. Okay, that's, yeah, that's pretty much done. Yeah, so I will go with a simpler way. I could experiment. So basically in the stack, because like in the size box, we can add only one element, but actually if we will wrap it in an overlay, then inside of the overlay, we can add more stuff, but it gets like really complex that, but just to make for you really easy to understand, I will just make multiple these stacks and it will be easier to see. Okay, and let's name this one. So it will be stack box. I like to, at the beginning, write what it is and then explanation what's inside. So this will be buttons. You can close that. And then in this box will be text selection. So we will add text now in here. And we can delete that. Let's grab text block, add it to the first. Okay. And actually, because in the text we already have sizes and all that, we don't need size box for that. Let's put it there. Let's delete all these size boxes. So with a text, okay, we want it in the center. Then for the padding, I will add 99, 99, basically on the sides. And we can create 4 copies, and as you can see, it's getting close. So we need to adjust just few things. I will change this for like text for font for new one. Then in the text block, I will set it to select. Then for this typeface, I want it extra bold. And for the size, will be 20. Okay. Let's add a little bit outline and in the center in here. Okay, looks good. Yeah, so everything basically in the center of the button. So now we just need to position it down. And that we can do with this selection, not selection, stack box. So in here, let's set it from the top on 78, and like that. Cool. And let's team button. Yeah, we need to rename this. It will be button and will be team. And then I will Control A, Control C, and then 1. And now in here, I can just paste and then add number. Because if we want to rename this, we will have lots of stuff in here. Then binding will be a nightmare. So it's better to prepare. So same with text. So it will be text, then team select, Control C, 1, 2. Okay. And for the color, instead of white, I want it to be a little bit bluish, just slightly. Something like that. Should be fine. Okay. Now, next one, I will duplicate from the buttons. and let's put it below. Okay. So stack box, team names. I will keep size box now, but I can grab just Control C and then select this box and then Control V, do it like that. And now this stack box, where I want it to be, yeah, exactly here. So it should be on a 0. Okay, that's totally fine. And then for the size box, let's select all of them. Then in here it will be 120 and 55. And in here on the left side, we want 65 and on the right 65. Because I want larger text here. So I already know these paddings. Okay, so now we can select this text. And yeah, we'll write text later because they will have different names. Okay, and for the text, we want 0 here, everything, because we setting paddings in size box. Okay, color same, this everything same. Yeah, this one size we can leave on 20, at least for now, should be fine. Yeah, everything fine. So we can, maybe let's rename it first. Text, or let's call it name, and then team, because basically at the end we can specify what team is it. Let's, actually I can duplicate, okay. So let's then Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, and I need select this, Control C, just to that name, or actually I didn't need that. I can just delete last number. Okay. Now this one, I just wrote like any team names. Of course, you can use whatever you want. So this will be one guard, one guard, one guard, and you can see how it looks. I want team B on the top word and then one guard like on the bottom. So in here, it's enough just to set like a out of wrap text. If this wouldn't work, try then set a small number here, because it's set by default to wrap by the words, right? Because we have only 2 words, it would still wrap and not like split. But then if you will set per character, that can like then split your words. But then if you would put like small number, you see like, because basically we have these boundaries from the size box, it means it would be forced not to go out of this and then go down. Okay. Let's enable straight away for all of them this wrapping. Now let's go back to the second one and call it Team Raptors. Then Team Phoenix. Like that. Okay, looks good. Okay, now in between here, we want to add a player count. So we can specify maximum. So in my case, it will be 4. In your case, whatever you want. And then, so basically on the right side, it's maximum, it will be 4. And then on the left, it will start with 0. But basically then it will show how many players already in that team. Again, yeah, let's duplicate this text. So stack box, players count. So this one, I want it to be down a little bit, like that. Then in a size box, I want 65, 65. Yes, that's correct. I want 20, and here I want 35. That's fine. Now in a text, let's select again everything. I want it to be smaller. So is that again, no padding. We will update text. Then we still have that. And then we need 18. And everything is same. Just maybe let's add a little bit different color. Okay. Or actually, I can set same text for all of them. So basically, it will be 00/04, like that. Let's rename here. Okay, just a few more left. So let's add logos. For the logos, we can grab this text. Yeah, without size boxes. Put it on the end. Teams logo. And it's actually not a text. Let's delete all that. Let's grab image. Let's add it here. Let's rename it. Image, logo, team, Control A, C, or actually not C. I don't need to copy that. I will duplicate that anyways. So, and just change number. Okay. So for this one, we want from the bottom. So it should be here on the top. 93. And then for each of the images, we need padding. So it will be not from the top, from the left, 90, from the right, 90. Okay. And for this size will be 70, 70. Okay. And we already have Teams logo. Let's create material instance. Because like I put, see like a team again at the back, if I will duplicate it, I don't even need to rename it, straight away add like 2, 3, 4. So let's add that one. So it's 1, then 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now let's open our all these instances. Okay, so first one actually we can leave, at least for now. Then in the second one, so we need logo index. We need to change this to 1 and save. This one to 2 and save. And last one, it's, if we look here, you can see that all of them changed. Actually, here I added 93, but then from the top I have 78. Actually should be 0. That's why it's holding and not pushing up. Okay, let's select all of them and see if we have everything. So 9090. Oh, super important, super important. Everything what covers a button should have, instead of visibility set to visible, it should be always non-hid, right? Because otherwise, if mouse will be above this image, you won't be able to click on a button because now image tries to grab your mouse selection, but it's actually not reacting. So it basically have no reaction at all. So let's grab everything. Well, I remember set this as well to non-hit. And this one as well. And last one is this text. Well, okay. So that's good. We're not setting for the background. We could, but because background is behind the buttons, it won't affect it. Okay. So in here, it looks fine by me. And for the color, we're not changing it here because we have materials. So actually can open directly in here. So then I can affect all of them at once. Maybe something like that. Again, you can set whatever colors you want. You're free to do so. Okay. Now I want to add gear, which will actually rotate when the player hovers over the button. And because of the sizes of these logos, maybe like we will need to shift a little bit, like some of the logos up and some down. But most of that, it's already fine. Okay. So now for the gears, we can duplicate same. It will be adjust gear icons. And here I don't need material. I can just grab this one and directly drop in there. And we can set color, something similar. Maybe like a little bit dim it. Yeah, maybe fine. We'll see. Okay, just need adjust size. I think it's 120. Yeah, let's set it to 90. Actually, let's leave it 93 for now. Let's see. Okay, let's select all that. And then in here will be 65, 65. Yeah, so you can see like while logos, they on the same like on the same alignment, right? Like horizontally. But because of the shape, see this one had like lots of space on the top, but then on the bottom it's almost touching this. While this one, it's fine. This one is fine. And this one is not too bad. So I think like we can keep this, yeah, and this one is fine, but like we can move on to this one a little bit up. Not gear, this one. Yeah, it's better now. Okay, and let's rename this one. Take copy it. Or okay. Here we go. Like, looks not so bad. Maybe let's darken this background. So we can close that. Okay. And let's grab this one. Okay. So we've done with this. We can test. So you'll grab this arrow. You can see how this UI will behave on the different screen ratios. You can see like everything stays. And mostly it's because we're using this stack box and not manually placing everything. And then we're just using padding. Okay, so let's do binding. So this is final painful stuff. Let's start from top to bottom. So buttons first. So select button. And let's add this. I will add all buttons right away. So then easier to do stuff. And actually, before binding, let's first create animations. because I will need with bindings like control that. It will show me now error because there are no bindings, but that's not a problem. So now let's select the gear, go animation. Now in here, let's call it anim for animation, and then gear rotation 1. Now in here, because we selected gear, we have this image gear 1. And as you can see, like because we named everything properly, it's now easy to work with. So we have our image, and now we need transform and rotation, right? So keep in mind, so everything in here is a little bit different to sequencer outside of the UI. In sequencer outside of the UI, it's a 30 FPS, and here it's a 20 FPS. You can set different, but by default it's 20 FPS, okay? So it means 20, it will be 1 second. So what we do, let's click in here to make sure keyframe is there. And I want it to go for the 4 seconds, one rotation. So 360 degrees for 4 seconds. So it means it's 80, right? And sometimes it works if you set to 360 and it's place animation. But sometimes it's a struggle for the computer to realize, because 360 and 0, it's basically the same, right? Because you in the 360 degrees, you're coming back to the same position. So that's why we sometimes doing like 359.99, really, really close to 360. It will still go to 360, and if it loops, it will go back and you won't see any like jittering or like anything basically. It will still work fine. Okay, if you will play, now you can see what's going on. But you can see like it slowly speeds up and then it slows down. And this is because we have, if we go in here, if we can, not sure, it's not working. Okay, but it doesn't matter. Maybe I need select. No, it's not working, but it doesn't matter. So basically what we need, you see, if you have the keyframe as a round, yeah, it's basically circle, it means it has this smooth transition. If you select this one, or you can select multiple with a shift, and then if you press 4, you can actually zoom in to the keyframe. It's always small, but basically it transforms into triangle. Triangles, it means it's linear. It's always same speed. And now if I will play, you can see it's always same. And now it's jumped to the beginning and then it goes back and you don't see any transition, right? This is what we want. So you want for this custom rotations, you want circle. So yeah, we created animation, cool. We can save it. And let's select next gear and go back to this one. Let's duplicate it. Let's name it 2. Then select this one and then right click on this image gear and then replace with image gear 2. And now if you will play, you can see so easily we already created animation for the second gear. And same process for the last 2. So select, go back here, duplicate, free, right click, and gear 3. Play, and it plays. Good. Now 4, duplicate, click, replace with 4. Play, and it plays. Good. So we created that. Now let's add another animation, and this will be sound. And I will call it on covered. So in here, we can audio track. It will say recommended to use audio clock as a clock source, blah, blah. Yes, fine. So for this one, I will use, it's like click on here and I need to search for audio. I will use the smooth tool and whatever was that, multi-select, this duplicate. Yeah, good. Okay. Maybe I'll put it on a 2 volume and actually make sure that when you're changing something, it's on a 0. So it's fine. You can keep it on the 1. Okay, and that's it. We're done with audio. Now we can do bindings. So on the team 1, we want first onClicked event, not select, but event, right? Then in here we can, so first of all, yeah, let's create event for the clicked. So then device knows when we click. So response, and then this is button 1. Okay, so this is done. We can do this for the second one. So onClicked, response, button 2, and onClicked. There will be so many repetitions. Yeah, so bear with me. We'll now compile, no errors. Good. Now let's continue. Again, we need into 1. We want on hovered. And when on hovered, we want to play, select this one, and we want to play animation, like first one. And then we need select, and again this one, and it will be anim gear rotation 1. Because there is no looping in here, so basically it will loop for, like, it will play for the 4 seconds because a timeline set for 4 seconds, and it will stop. But I want to play until my mouse is over that. I want this to rotate. So what I will do, I will set it like to, like, how many times loop? I will set to 1000. You can set maybe like 10,000. Eventually it would stop, but you can imagine, like, this is how many times. So 1000 multiplied by 4, player will never hold so long mouse over this. Yeah. So it means it will look pretty much like how long we want. So that's totally fine. And we need to do same for the rest. So we can do that, and then 2 on hovered event, the animation. Now rotation 2, again 1000, and fine. For the 3, we can do 4. So on hovered, not clicked, on hovered, and 4 as well on hovered. Will be play animation, rotation 3, and again 1000. Now in here already done this, so play animation. You specify what animation. Rotation 4, 1000. Compile, no error. So it means we started, but because we set it to loop 1000 times, it means when I hover over that button, let's say team 1, and then I stop, it will still rotate almost infinitely for us. We don't want that. So what we want, it's again, let's add the for each. We want when on hovered, again event, and for each basically button on hovered. Please really look carefully, yeah, what I'm doing. So basically on clicked, on hovered, on unhovered for each button, right? Because it's really easy to mess up. So many bindings. So now what we want is basically to say, instead of stop animation and specify which animation, I want to stop all animations, because I'm not playing any animations all the time, only animation when I'm hover over that button. And then there will be sound as well. Maybe if you going through the buttons really fast like that with mouse, there will be not enough time to stop and play again for the sound, because, like, I don't know, like maybe like there's 2-3 seconds, right? So we want to stop and then straight away, like rapidly, and start new one. So that's mean like stop all animations really good for us. So let's do that. And we don't need then specify anything, just stop all animations. So again, on hover it, stop all animations. And in here, stop all animations. And last one, stop all animations. And last thing, we want again add to all 4 of them. We want add on hovered. It will be basically for our sound. Done. Or 2 times. I need actually button free. As I said, like really pay attention. Really easy to make mistakes. So now again, play. And in here, I will say like play forward. The difference is because in the first one, this one, for example, so there's like, I can specify how many times it should loop. And in this one, as you can see, it's not giving me that option. And plus here, I can even play forward or reverse or ping pong, right? So I don't want that control. This is totally fine for me. So then I just need, where are you? Sound on hovered and select. So it's done. And really important, you need set restore state. If you want to do that, you will here click twice. It will be on the beginning and on the end. If you will restore state, you will have it properly just only once. Okay, so let's do that again. First forward. Now select sound, restore forward, sound, and restore. Again. Okay. Okay, we've done with this. Almost finished, almost. The last thing, we need to control these numbers. With a pop-up dialog device, it's a little bit easier than hot message device where we can only set one text. So then we used this technique with multi-layers. Here, actually, we don't need to do this. Actually, then we need, let's say, selecting this one. Oh, yeah, this one first. Okay. Okay, so let's collapse these buttons. Now, this, then we specify text. And then in here, we don't need any conversion, nothing. Come here, and then we can grab a button 1 main text, and we're done. Basically, in the verse code, to send different values, we will use button text because we're not using button text anyways. We're not binding to them. So we can use it just to set these different values. And because we have 6 of them, we can do 6 times. So it's really nice. Okay. That text. And now button 2 main, not subtext, but main text. 3 text, button 3 main text. And last one. 4 main text. Compile. Good. No errors. And let me see. I think we're done in here. Yep. I think we're done. Okay. Again, we can't control this much, but what I will do, I will set this one to show on auto display. Or actually, yeah, let's test it better. Let's drop trigger device. Okay. Now let's grab this one. Again, this is just for testing. And not that. Show. Okay. Let's connect it like that. So basically, each time we step on this, it will show this UI. But actually, at the beginning, we want auto display anyways, because Actually, we don't need. Okay. Now let's push and test. Okay, let's test it. Yep. Basically, you can see even that animations always cancelled the moment I just hover, not hovered, basically above the button. And then if I'm hovering on another one, even this sound, it gets cancelled. And then as long as I'm holding mouse above the button, yeah, it will basically rotate. Okay, so now because we not finished code, so basically when I'm selecting, nothing happens, right? So this is actually what we will do in the next video. So in next video, we will write code to control, for example, player. Clicking on that, and it's actually here you can see it's not showing text because in a device it's set like none. That's why it's basically send that information and there's no even zero, so that's why like it erases that. But this text is there, and with reverse code we will send that information, so that will work totally fine. And what we will do is when, let's say, player's limit, let's say it's 4, it's reached, then player won't be able to click it. So basically when it will click, nothing will happen. So it will be forced to click something else. And plus what we'll do as well is we will add timer. So whatever time you will want, maybe like 15 seconds. If player not selecting team, then it randomly gets assigned to whatever team has space. Again, not to go over the limit. Okay, so see you in the next video. Have fun. I would like to say thank you to my all supporters. I appreciate your support. Thank you for your generosity. You can get project files on my Patreon or just buy me a coffee to support me. If you're interested in learning more about UEFN materials, coding, widget UI, and more, you can join our growing Discord community where we like to discuss UEFN tips and tricks, showcase our work, and help each other. You can find link in the description or in the channel header.